the district.
China Union is obligated to provide a scholarship of not less than 200,000. They are under the obligation to support the Universal Library with at least 50,000 to the Geological Department.
ARA's project coordinator Ibrahim Kiazulu wants the education sector depoliticized.
Education should not be married with politics. There's no country who allows politics to melt into your education system. We ever succeed in your education system.
Maryland County District 2 Representative Anthony Williams donates ambulance and fuel to Plebo Health Center. And away from home, at least 45 civilians killed in door-to-door raids by Ethiopian troops last month in the northern town of Miwari. These and many more stories, including sports, the water reports, are coming up. First, Emmanuel Colley and the news bulletin.
Bond County District 7 Representative Foley Famule has officially complained the management of China Union for alleged failure to implement its Mineral Development Agreement (MDA). In a communication to plenary Tuesday, Representative Famule alleged that China Union has failed to implement key provisions within the MDA. He said the MDA calls for better social services, which target education, healthcare, road infrastructure, and electricity, among others, for residents in the company's operational areas.
The first thing is that China Union is obligated to the community to provide 250,000 land rental fee. China Union is obligated to provide a scholarship of not less than 200,000. They are under the obligation to support the Universal Library with at least 50,000 to the Geological Department.
Representative Formula wants the management of China Union appear before plenary to provide update on their implementation status and plan for the remaining 10 years of their operations in Liberia. The Bond County lawmaker also wants plenary initiate full review and audit of the NDA implementation, beginning with a public hearing to ensure corporate accountability. The coordinator of the ARAS project at the Ministry of Education, Ibrahim Kiazulu, wants the education sector depoliticized. ARAS is the Improving Results in Secondary Education, a World Bank-funded project in supporting government improve senior secondary education across the country. Mr. Kiazulu believes a politically driven education sector could stop critical interventions to the sector by key stakeholders and development partners.
Education should not be married with politics. There's no country who allows politics to melt into your education system. We ever succeed in your education system. As school administrators, you should not be loyal to a particular regime. You should be loyal to the school system.
Mr. Kiazulu said education is pivotal to fostering national development. He also called for professional corporate governance of the sector to enhance the provision of quality education to the people of Liberia. Maryland County District 2 Representative Anthony Williams has identified two of the Plebo Health Center. Our correspondent said Representative Williams provided a brand new ambulance, fuel, and mobile phones. Representative Williams said the donation is in fulfillment of his campaign promise. Meanwhile, health workers of the Plebo Health Center in Maryland County thanked Representative Williams for the gesture. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency detachment in Grand Jide County has followed two persons to court for allegedly bringing in possession of the infamous drug known as Kush. A correspondent said Emmanuel Due and Prince Gay were arrested by LDA's officers following a tip-off. Though the two suspects early denied the allegation, investigation has since revealed they were in possession of the harmful substance. Meanwhile, the substance is in the possession of the LDA to be used as evidence against the suspects in court soon. Agriculture Minister Dr. Alexander Nuta has reaffirmed government support towards addressing threats of climate change in Liberia. Minister Nuta also wants the legislature implement the Paris Agreement on climate change by using the forest to mobilize support for the execution of nationally determined contribution. Speaking Tuesday at the start of the Global Environment Facility Expanded Consultancy Workshop, Dr. Nuta lauded the international organization for its support to Liberia. The 4-day workshop has been organized by the Environmental Protection Agency in collaboration with the Global Environment Facility. Participants of the gathering are June from Guinea, Ivory Coast, Togo, Benin, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana, and Liberia. 8 civil society organizations have proposed increments in the education budget from 14% to 20%. The CSOs include Youth Movement, Institute for Research and Democratic Development, Development Education Network, and Institute for Democratic Action and Development, among others. They say the increment in the education budget will conform to international best practice of 20%, as enshrined in the Global Partnership on Education. The civil society groups believe such proposal will address the overwhelming challenges confronting Liberia's education system. US-based non-governmental organization Population Services International (PSR) has vowed to support the Boaka-led administration. PSI Chief of Party Matthew Ndodi said the entity will work along with the government and people of Liberia to improve the sanitation sector of the country. He was speaking Tuesday in Monrovia at a day-long stakeholders engagement organized by Compassion for Humanity in Liberia. He, however, praised President Joseph Boakai for including sanitation in the arrest agenda of the government. The PSI Chief of Party also lauded Compassion for Humanity Liberia for the gains made in the watch sector. And the first ever Grand Coup Technical College in Barclayville has announced the official commencement of 4 operations in early March this year. According to a release, the administration of the college said it is now set after initiating series of activities ahead of its official commencement of classes in March 2024. The activities include the curriculum development, revision and validation, staff recruitment and development and enrollment formalities for candidates for the 2-year program. The release is also quoted as saying the Grand Coup County Technical College is an associate degree granting institution in education, agriculture, engineering, technology, business, natural and health sciences. The college was established by the legislature in March 2019 with the appointment of the Board of Trustees by former President George Weah to derive policy focus for the college in line with its vision and mission.
Emmanuel Cody there with the news bulletin. You're listening to Newsline on ELBC Radio. One of the big stories we're following this afternoon. ARAS project coordinator Abraham wants the education sector depoliticized. Well, Plenary has instructed its committees on judiciary, ways, means, finance, labor, and concessions to probe allegation of gross breach of some provisions within the China Union Mineral Development Agreement. They followed the communication from Bond County District 7 Representative Fode Fambole. The Bond County lawmaker spoke in an interview with our legislative reporter Emmanuel Colley Tuesday on Capitol Hill.